it's a historic type in its own. So the pit itself is 75 years old this year as a design, designed by Curtis Pitts in 1946. And the very first example that was built in the UK was built at Old Warden in 1969, I believe, by Wally Berry, one of the engineers. So the type has quite a strong association with Shuttleworth, which we continue to this very day with Stuart Goldspink, one of our pilots, and John Munn, the chief engineer, and also one of our pilots, flying their Pitts Duo, which made their airshow debut last weekend. So without any more further ado, Phil, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin, for that. Hello, good morning, everybody. Now, the pit special, the draw. What I usually do to start with is to warm up. Like with every exercise, you just warm up with your pencil sort of thing. You get ordinary pad and you just do anything with your pencil, like that. And shapes. I've drawn some shapes here, which are interesting shapes. If you can draw the line as closely as that shape, because all you're looking at is shapes here. Shape, that line there, the shape. You go like that. Then you can add your pencil and you can be pretty accurate at the shape. Like that. Like that. See? Now when you draw it, you look at the shape and you see if the line is correct. If you're not, you rub it out and do it again. And it just takes practice. Sometimes I get it wrong, but it's okay. It's okay. You always can redraw it, rub it out. So just flow. It has to be a flowing action, not a rigid action like that. That's no good, because 9 times out of 10 you won't get the line accurate. So another thing is the pressure. The pressure of the pencil is what makes your shading and everything form. So what I like to do when I practice or get warmed up is to go light, very light, light pressure. Like that, very light. So you're making a very light draw. Then you put the second stage on so it gets darker. And the third, it gets darker still. Then you start really getting real depth. So you get the shade coming up there. So you get used to the tones. Lighter tone, heavier pressure, darker tone, light it off a bit like that. So you've got in your brain, it's like a hard drive, you just memorize your tones. This is the whole aircraft really it's black at the moment, but the lighting effects are very, very difficult on that because the lights are bouncing off everywhere. So what I tend to do is just use your sky as the light, the white as the light. So that will be your light. So that will be your reflection. That's the reflection here, there, and that'll be my. So that would be the sky there and the reflection, the darker areas. And that is actually the tone that I would like to use on that, because if you get any darker, you'll start losing it. It's all right if you're painting it, you can use a lot of colors. There's a lot of colors in there you can use to get that reflection. There's even reflections from the decoys there on the side there, and there, reflection there. Notice, absolutely notice where everything is and what light is. There's light there, light there. So when you're drawing, you're noticing not the aircraft, obviously, but you're looking for the light. Where is the light shading? Lights, a little bit of light there. It's like a little, if you can look at that, it's like a little egg-shaped light, and it's brighter light there. So what we're doing is just noticing light, because that's very, very important in drawings and painting. So, okay, so we'll move on. As I say, they're just shapes. Right, we can move on to the top wing. We'll start with the top wing. Just an ordinary, I've got a 2H there, but I'll just get the shape with the 2H. This is a rough sketch, but the sketch should look like what it is actually. So what we do, we line it up. So basically the top wing, it's basically a straight line. So we'll start from there, probably. Give it a little bit more. We might add a little bit more wing to it, like when we've finished. But basically, shapes like that. Just flick your pen any way you like that, like that. Now, I'm going to take that, the cockpit, which is a little click there. So what we've got is basically a straight line, two straight lines, and a little click. Actually, I've got this might be easier to follow. I'll just pin that up there. If you can see that, that's the shape. A bit rough at the moment there, but there we go. Yeah, that's approximately in the middle there. So we can move it any way that we want to. Second. Putty rugs. I always use putty rugs. They're really marvelous things for highlights and everything. You can do that. Get rid of the excess lines. So once we've got that, we'll move in that direction. The nose, which comes about there. Then we're talking about that shape that's coming down there. That curves away. Might want that bit in, but not worried about that. So we've got that basic curvature. Just practice that. Right, now we could do the bottom wing. Which is shape through there. These are only lines at the moment, and not basic lines to get the construction. See where the wing is about there. I would place it just about there. And curve that, just lines, not finish on, because I might want to add a little bit. I tend to think when I look at it in the final bit. There we go. That. Just get that motion of free, then press. Just start with the paper. Not pressing the paper straight away. Just start there, then lower. the pencil, then take the pencil off. You get that stripy feeling. It doesn't matter if you overlap or go there within 2-3 mil like that. What we're doing is just getting a basic shape. There we go. There we go. We just finish it off there. Right. Well, that's so far. Let's have the top of the wing. Just add that. The fin, sorry. Just check your lines. Check your lines down there. There we go. See, that's quite a big gap between that first line and the second line. Doesn't matter what we're doing. Just relaxing your hand. We're not tightening it up, or just enjoy flicking marks like that. Just follow it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That sort of flick with the finger. Just follow it. Now, we've got that. We can make sure the line right. Yeah, spot on. I want to take it in a little bit. See, when you form the bottom line, you look at the top wing and you try and form them up. You can use putty rubber if you like. Just take your excess marks off like that. Excess marks, sorry. There we go. Look at the angles when you've done that. I usually go right back and look at the, if I was on site on location, I would look at the aeroplane like that, then look back to see if you've got everything in proportion. And it works that way very well. Right, basically the top, bottom, like that. Maybe with the undercarriage, where you've got the cockpit there, I would put the undercarriage there, but I'm just going to do little flicks at the moment. There we go. That's a very acute angle, that one. There we go. Maybe a right and a couple of, just about there. That's just about here. We're measuring up with your eye, really, where that cockpit is down there. Just there, that'll do. That'll do me fine. So with minimum of effort, we've got the shape, basic shape here, only with just, as I was saying, flicks of, not hard lines, just flick. Try it. It works every time. And when you don't like it, you can always rub it out and start again. Let's do his boots, shall we? Call them boots. That's a little round shape. So we get that round oval shape. So I'm looking at that gap there. So I'm not going to move it down there because it's too wide. So I'm going to put it just about there, I would say. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to do just little boots. Not going to do, that's a fairly difficult shape to draw. It's made easier if you just do just little circles like that. Now, because that's an angle, you just have a look at the pencil like that. Now his other boot comes to about there. The top line is about the middle up there. So it looks to me that it's probably about there. Right, there we go. It's taking shape. We've got 2 circles, 2 triangle things, 1 shaped fuselage and 2 wings, and a little bit of cockpit there, only with little flicks. And we've got the Pit Special. It looks what it is with simple lines. The struts there, they're reinforced struts, of course, there, so they're not just straight poles. But there we go, there we go. We've got a shape from there to there, the nose. So you can mark it there, there. And do your flicks with your pencil. Just about. That comes. Displays out just where that line is, just there. I think it goes, I can't see, I'll see it on the picture, but I think it goes just there. Now we could get the measure of the wing now. Now we've got the strut there. We get the measure of the wing, which comes out there. Now we can get the measure of the top wing. Now we've got the strut in place, which comes now. This is a nice, interesting flow on the top wing, because it's very difficult if the shape goes out of shape. The C there goes out of shape, it won't look right. So what happens? You just flick the pencil, lean on your palm. I'm sorry, I'm doing it left-handed, but you can do it right-hand. Just lean and do a sort of a window wiper flick like that, and you get that near enough perfect, that perfect line. I'll flick on it, see what I mean? You can get that line on the top, but just with leaning on there and flicking it. And there we go. Now that's easy. This one's easy because we've got the tail, and we can, there we go. Just get the angles right. Yeah, angles are all right by me. And straight down. There we go. There we go. And there we go for that. There we go. Now that's very light. I've done it with a 2H, which is a hard pencil, H for hard. It's very light as well. So it's just very light. So I've got the main shape. I'm going to my favorite 4B, which is a lot softer and a lot harder. You can adjust it a lot better. Very short at the moment because I've used it quite a lot. So now we've got the shape, we can get a little bit more confidence with the, and the lines, they're thick there, we can get them more thinner with the 4B. There we go. around there. And there we go. I'll go back to the shape of these covers at the moment. I'll just go through. There we go. There we go. This is just sketching, by the way, just ordinary, quick sketching. You'll get, the more you do it, the quicker you'll get. There we go. Nice lines, really nice lines, like those. Just follow them around. There we go. That's nice, like that. Right, now, let's do some boots. Now, I tend to, once I've done one, I'll look at the other. I'll say, right, now that's a little bit higher. So, as you did in, it comes round a little bit, around there. Move on, round there. I think we're a bit high there, a bit low here, but I'm not worried about that. It's your drawing, so you look at it and think, does it look right? Does it look right to you? If it's a sketch, you know. If you're going to do a painting, you know through your sketch, you think, well, I'll alter that when I paint it, because I know it's a little bit low, a little bit high, but it's just a sketch, so you just think, oh, well, you change it next time. There's no pressure. Do a little circle there. Watch the angles. Try to get them exactly the same. Well, that was a little bit, looks a little bit bigger. Just watch the angles. That comes around there. Get the curvature of the wheel. There we go. Yeah, that looks like, maybe if you could see it. I'm going to be very critical now, because I think I want that to be a little bit lower. Not a lot, but just a little bit lower. I can add a little bit of wheel on, it doesn't matter. Oh, that'll do me. That's fine. Right, you can go. Let's take some more of your, with your putty rubber, just clean up with it. Right, now we've got the shape. Now let's have a look at the drawing. Look at the photos. Right. As I said, there's a lot of reflections on that, so we're going to minimize it, because I believe if you get too much, if I've got a drawing, I'll show you what I mean. Here's one I've just practiced with to show you what I mean. To me, if I overstate the darkness of the aircraft, it will just disappear. There won't be any depth in the reflections because it's all one sort of tone, really. The difference between the tone on the darks are, you can see that's really black. That's really black along there. But you've got shades of blue, which you'd use in a painting here. Blue sky on there. So it's a mixture of Payne's grey and blue, and a little bit of titanium white. Now, that colour would come out really nice along there. But the tones are really, really, really close. That's what you look when you paint or drawing subject. You look on the tones of the aircraft. You'll see a lot of other colours reflecting. There's colours reflecting there, and you can build up your structure. So what I want to do is keep it basic. Use my paper as light. Actually, if I'm going to use it light, I might disappear the top because the light, you decide where your light's coming from. I think it's going to come from this way. So what I can do is roughly just take that off. See what I mean? So the light's reflecting on the wing. So what I'll do, so it's reflecting on the wing, and it comes round like that. So if the light's reflecting on the wing, it gets darker and darker and darker until you get the darkest tone on there because the light's coming from there. So what we'll do, get the darker tone here. Okay. Darker tone on the top. So we'll just take that away. Probably a little bit of light pressure to get that. There we go. Okay. Strut. So if the light's coming this way, that strut would be in darkness, nearly in darkness. And the light would reflect on that side. And so we'll do the same tone as the top because that would be in darkness, the light's coming from there. So we'll do, yeah, constantly think about where your light's coming from. See what I mean? With this shot, there seems to be lights coming from there. There's a reflection of light that could be the camera. It's not natural light because natural light would pass through there, wouldn't reflect on the outside. Could be if it came through there at that angle. But there we go. Let's just lightly. What I do is I've got a little bit of, I've got a brush like that to take, just take the little bits and pieces off. Just when you use your hand, you smudge it, I think. So we'll get on with a little bit of shading. Leave a little bit. This big light there. That's when the sun caught it. But this is where you make your own decisions. You look at it and think, well, is that going to look right? If I put that, that's going to look like a big hole on this picture. So no, we'll leave it out. Just put like that. Do that. Always look where the light's coming from. very lightly. Just going to do a from the shape, that little diamond there. See what I mean? If you follow the shapes, you'll get the shape of the aircraft. See, little bit of flicks. Just a couple of straight lines. I'm just going to flick those through. At that angle. If you get your angles right, yep, lovely. Cockpit. We've got the cockpit. That's a good angle because that will make it more three-dimensional. Just that shape will convert the whole drawing as something that comes out and doesn't look flat. Now we'll do the light is actually reflecting on there. So the darker, as I said, all the tones on the top, you get light on the top, and then as it goes round, it goes lighter. Sorry, darker when you go around like that. This darkest point. Same on the lights on the top. That little rail there where it's black, it's in shadow. So make sure you get the line, just one line like that. Then you've got the whole structure. The whole structure's taken form. There we go. That's nice. Just put little flicks there, flicks here, and flicks there, and just keep looking, searching for different parts of light and what it does. Now this is another extreme that I'll take that out. The digits are very. I'm just going to do suggestions of there's something there, but I'm not going to. Just little. Just little marks at the moment. Follow the stripes. Doing this very slowly at the moment. There we go, the rudder line. Just check with your pencil to get the rudder lines. Because if you put it over that way, it won't look right. But if you put it that way, it won't look right. It's just slightly out, and no, I don't think it will look right. So you line it up, your eye, little flecks like that. There we go. Some diamonds there. So there we go. There's two diamonds there. So roughly just little marks. Little mark of a diamond shape there, and that ends there. Now we've got the rear. Let's check with your pencil. Just about there. Just a line. That's all it is. Just a line. There we go. Now you can line that. You see that overlaps that, so we know. You can adjust the sizes. Come there, just about right there. And just with the light on the top, take a little bit of keep looking at the now we've got the rear wheel there. I'll start off by putting the rear wheel in, which is just a little semicircle, which we know that's there. So you look like that. It's just in line with there. So you get your angle right. Just start by doing a little circle. So just like with your doing an angle, like so. And there we go. There's all sorts of little bolts and wires and things coming there. There we go. Right. Let's do a little bit of darkness under there. Actually, what I mean by your light on there, we can take a little bit out of this line here to make it a lot less stronger. Just notice all the darks. Now we've got some the support, wing supports there, held up by a bracket on the middle there. So what I'm going to do, going to measure by eye where that bracket is. I believe, well, it's about there. Shall we put the bracket just about there, just a mark. Now, the first strut goes about there. It's about just little flicks. Next one. Watch the angles. There. That goes across to about the middle there. There we go. That's another one there. Another one close. And one over there. Like that. So we've got that. There's one that goes across. There we go. Let's get the darker line under there a bit more stronger. See, I'm using as with the practice, thin, middle, very thick, and very, very thick. See, I'm using the tones with the strength of my hand instead of using harder pencils or a 5B going up to about 10B, I think. That's the darkest. Instead of doing that, I'm using the strength of my hand instead of higher pencils, higher definite pencils. Yeah. There we go. I'm not going to do it very strong on the top because, as I said, it's going to take the form away. Oh, let's do a little bit of the pilot. Just you can form his head, but it's just by. There we go. Let's see who's in there, sitting in his cockpit. Now, it's decision time. Sometimes you look at that. That seems too dark to me there. It's probably camera, the way it's taken and the way it's developed. It doesn't look very natural, that light. So what I'm going to do, the light's coming from there, it'll be shining on the top. So I'm going to leave that a little bit light. Let's move on to the front, shall we? The nose, which comes around a sort of an egg shape, very lightly, not hard, because we might want to change the shape. That's a nice little. There we go. Radiating intakes. We're not far out, so every time you look at your drawing, you think, does it measure up? And that in turn takes how accurate your drawing is. So we're putting that there and putting that shape there. Oh, that's not bad, really. Just shade that in. I do believe you can see it around the other side a little bit. So let's shape that in there. Shape that around. There we go. Right now, same as the top, we do the bottom. See, you're making your decisions every time you draw something. You think, well, is that going to look right? The photo says it's all right. It's there, not necessarily. Photos are all right by cameras, but when you're drawing them, there's a lot of things that don't make sense that a camera can take, especially the art things. There we go. Just corner that round. There we go. Quite happy with the way it's going at the moment. What I don't want to do is draw it, because, as I said, as you've seen in the sorry, the camera's moving at the moment. Oh, as I say, this it just loses its depth because the light on it is all over the place. So all I want to do is just the minimum shading and using the background. And what I use, I think I'll use is the cross-hatching effect. One way. Used to use that with cartoons quite a lot, drawing cartoons, which just draw not hard, because if I remember right, we used hard background on there, and I don't think this is going to work on this drawing, but what I want to do is just give it some kind of a background so it brings you in the drawing. Little cross-hatching flicks like that, and it's getting stronger every time with, I think I probably haven't got time to really finish it off, but I do the best I can to get it as far as I can. Yeah, just little, what the darkness is going to do. The darker areas is going to shine the light on the fuselage. I'm going to bring the aircraft out of it. But you're building this up in your mind. You're not actually using the darkest tones at all. You're building the tones up. See what I mean? There we go. Very lightly. This is good with a 4B with a graphite pencil. If you keep doing that, you get a lovely flat spot in your pencil like that, and it also sharpens it up on the top. So you get that lovely flowing mark. It's just taking its shape at the moment. I can add a little bit more detail. The wheel, to make that, it looks a little bit flat at the moment. It's just flat down there. But if you have a look, see where the reflections are and where the darker areas, that will make it look more three-dimensional. See if I just do that line there and just darken that area. Comes around there like that. There we go. Oh, that's a darker tone now. Same with this side. Try and get them the same, because that is actually going in the center. Let's take that out a little bit. There we go. I'll do little circles. There darker on the top. Actually, you can use your fingers as well. Use that in painting quite a lot. Just circle it off like that. You get a lovely effect. You get a lovely effect like that as well with the nose. If you rub it like that, so you get that smudge mark where it's a lovely effect. Of course, there's light underneath the nose as well, so there we go. That's taking shape. I tend to follow the shape of the design there. Very lightly. And let's move on to there. Very lightly. They're just building up the tones. Don't overdo it. Easy to over. I think you make your own decisions with your drawing. You think, look at it and say, that area looks quite good to me. I'm quite happy with that area there because you've got the lights coming off there and the light is showing through there. Of course, your paper's your light. That's light is like that. And that's coming along there. Obviously, it's not in the drawing. If we were to draw all the dark areas there, that would just take it away. That would just make it look as in there, that will just take it away a little bit. So I'm using light on there. I'm quite happy with that. I move along to the tail here. Look, we've got the ribs of the tail. There we go. There we go. Just a couple of stripes there, which goes. And I think we'll leave that in light there because just take a little bit. I hope you can see this all right on the camera. Because it started to look really nice. Now you could build this, build the pencil up, marks. So you've got, so it'll eventually look like clouds. It'll give you the illusion it'll look like clouds. So we'll do a dark area there, perhaps a little dark area there as well. And let that area be light. Another dark area there, forming down there. There we go. Maybe a bit there as well. So we're going to light. I haven't got into the detail yet, but I don't think it matters a lot. Very light. Just that shading there, but I'm going to keep that light. I want to keep that light. I don't want to over darken it. Just take that out a little bit. Actually, the light's reflecting on the top of the tail. So that'll be, take that off. If the light's coming this way, it will be slightly darker on the tail there. So you give it a little bit more like that. See, gives you an illusion of darkness. When you get, I can see light on the strut there as well. So all I'm doing is noticing light on it all the time. It's just right. I suppose I could go darker. Yeah, I'm just quite happy with that as a sketch at the moment. That's a little bit of darkness there. Also forget that. Little bits and pieces. Put the mark there, just there, and there. Do that line. There we go. We've got the tray there. Notice so many things on so many aircraft. Makes you think, well, what does that do? It's there, so there you go. That's nice. We can just take that out with the rubber and the pit up tube. There we go. Take that out and just, there we go. That's perfect. There we go. Just by a couple of lines we've got. Actually, that's a little bit low. No, I don't know. I think that's okay. Right. Well, I think I'm going to leave this one at that at the moment. As I said, there's quick sketching. There's I've got another one here that I quick sketched, something like that, you know. You can just quick sketch it. So I did it in more detail there, but if you're on location, I usually work with a iPad there, looking at the aircraft and just quick sketching like that, studying shapes, where the shapes are, and you form yourself. Eventually, there's another style. This is a very quick style I did, kind of a lighter, kind of really let things go. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. There's so many styles you can do. This one's quite good because it gives you a kind of a I don't know, kind of a different impression of what it is. Because there's just another things I like to do, little cartoons. Once you get the form in your mind, what the thing is, you can exaggerate shapes. Exaggerate a shape on the top and on the bottom, exaggerate the tail, exaggerate the wings, back wings like that. So you get little cartoony shapes, which are popular with the children. But yeah, once you've got that in your mind, the shape of the aircraft, you can do anything with it. Okay. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll add you back to Kevin, and I hope to see you next time. If you've got any drawings or drawings, I'd love to see them. If you send them in to the art site, I'd love to have a look, and we'll go from there. Okay, thanks very much for joining me.
Thank you very much, Phil. Excellent session. For anybody that wants to catch up on these, we're going to try and put the recordings that are being made of the sessions on the svas.org.uk website as well. So hopefully by the end of this, there'll be a complete series almost of a beginner's guide to art almost, thanks to Phil. And the sort of little caricatures. Phil sort of says they're popular with the children. I guess that tells me what age group I'm in then, because I like them as well. So, but thank you all for joining us. We're hoping that the next session will be able to be a hybrid session, which means that we'll be having Phil along with some of the people that can make it along to the collection to be able to do some sketching there, and perhaps then sort of go for a bit of a roam around the site later on to be able to sort of sketch whatever takes their fancy. But we're still aiming to do it via Zoom as well for those that can't make it onto site. So hopefully we'll see how that goes. So we'll see you all in August.